Hello? Nobody owes you anything. All those young kids today. I moved to the other side of the world with about 5 grand in my pocket and no visa and made a life for myself. Going into the 100th episode, I thank you all for being here. And I just want to say thanks. Stay with us. We're still growing. I hope that you're still here when it comes to the 200th episode. And I want to celebrate the 100th episode by doing a giveaway for one person.
G'day, mates. It's your host, Mary O'Neill Phillips, and you are listening to Country Outdoors Podcast.
Hello, g'day, ahoy, everybody. 100 episodes. I can't believe we're at 100 episodes. Today, I wanted to do a solo podcast and really reintroduce myself, tell you guys about my story a little bit more and what it means to be here doing this 100th episode. When we started the podcast, we were living in, it was right after my dad had died, and within a couple of months of my dad dying, my dad, for those of you that do or don't know the story, I'll tell you, but my dad died pretty suddenly from pancreatic cancer in 2019. And honestly, for many years, I would say like at least 3 years after, I was in a pretty bad spot. But this podcast started soon after that and was one of the few things that really gave me some light in that dark time. And so we've been through a lot of different waves in this podcast. We've gone from being audio to it not existing for a while to me bringing it back, and now I'm here in our home studio, and I firstly want to just say thank you to everybody who has been a champion of this show and listened for this long. Like you all, the last 5-6 years has been crazy. The pandemic, now we're in this economy, which is like super challenging, and I want to recognize that as well. I haven't done that many solo podcasts, and I'm going to start to do more of them so that you guys can get to know me a little bit better as a person as well. But I wanted to start by saying I recognize everyone watching that 90% of us are living in a really challenging time in the economy, and podcasts are a way to escape sometimes from the world that we're living in, from the stress, and also connect and maybe be inspired as well. And I want to be that place for you all, and I hope that you feel that in there. I want to share my authenticity as well and my experiences in life, and I want you guys to get to know me a little bit more as a person as well.
Country Outdoors is proud to partner with Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America since 1829 and the official light lager of the outdoors.
If you guys can see back here, this is a photo of my dad, Brian, and he's a big part of this story because the brand Country Outdoors was birthed from a love of country lifestyle, country music, and the outdoors. And my love of the country came from my dad, from both my parents, but my dad was who bought our family farm when I was 3 years old. And I wish I could share this with him today. I hope he is looking down wherever he is and is proud of me. But that's where my love of the country came from, whether it be rural country or coastal country. And that's something as well. Like, so where I grew up in Australia, I grew up at Bronte Beach, which is like super surf lifestyle, on the coast in Australia, and grew up literally like 2-minute walk barefoot to the coast. Beautiful ocean, seaside, just gorgeous. And then my farm was 2 hours away. And so I spent my entire life being part at the beach and part in the bush, and was very, very lucky to be exposed to both of those cultures and lifestyle, because it makes me now as an adult just appreciate all of that so much and be so thankful to my parents. And so, yeah, I wanted to go into a little bit about my story as growing up in Australia, how I got here, and what this means to me to be here celebrating our 100th episode. since I was, truly a little girl. Like, I was a little girl in preschool that would be up on stage performing. And even though I dabbled in many other careers, I always wanted to be an entertainer and wanted to be sharing stories and entertaining people. And as a young 20-year-old, I think I went through a huge phase of that, being very self-focused and ego-focused, which is really part of, you discovering what value you have to add to the world. And I think with the loss of my dad and life lessons that I've learned, and a lot of challenges that I've been through, I've realized that none of it really matters unless you're contributing to the kingdom of God and giving back to people, and in a way that is selfless. And that's really what my goal for this show has been about. My partnership with Field and Stream was massive because it was a way to be able to bring that outdoor storytelling to another level, and connect with an audience that I loved, but also hadn't had the opportunity to connect with as well. This started with Outdoor Channel. I have to give them a thank you too, because it all started with the Outdoor Channel, and now it's come to Field and Stream. And Country Outdoors has been lucky enough to experience a lot of different waves with some great partners. And I just want to say thank you to all of that.
A lot of us grew up with Field and Stream, dreaming about our next cast, our next hunt, and our next outdoor escape. And now you can read the best of outdoor storytelling the way it was meant to be read. Field and Stream is back in print. For a limited time, new members get a bonus journal with their first delivery, and premium members also get a members-only hat. This special offer is only available for a limited time, so join the 1871 Club today and head to fieldandstream.com/1871club. Country Outdoors is proud to partner with Yingling, the oldest brewery in America since 1829 and the official light lager of the outdoors.
A lot has changed since we started the show. We've had a lot of trials. We had the pandemic, obviously. I lost my dad. We went through a massive camper fire, which really should have been the end of our entire business.
Our hard drive, our computers, our cameras, everything.
We didn't really talk about that too much at the time when that happened, but it was turkey season 2022, and we were driving through Wall, South Dakota, on our way to the Old West Invitational shoot, and our camper all of a sudden caught fire. And within minutes, we were pulled on the side of the road very quickly, and then within minutes, the entire thing essentially combusted. And it was one of the scariest things I've ever been through in my life. And I've been through quite a few surprisingly challenging, scary moments, which I'll get into in future episodes, but it was horrific. And at one stage, I thought Zach was on fire because I was screaming out to him, and he wasn't replying. And I know we'd gone in to try and save the camera guy's dog. And Forrest, I jumped out of the car barefoot and landed in cactuses. And then Forrest was trying to run into traffic, and no one stopped to help us. And essentially, we lost $100,000 of camera gear. We lost our camera guy's dog, and a whole bunch of sentimental stuff that I brought with me. But the thing that survived was my Bible. And the next day, when we went back, Zach went into the camper, and he came out, and he said nothing survived. And like, there were a couple little things, because like, I'll put the photo up here so you guys can see.
This is our bedroom. That's my big hard drive. It's Mary's hat. My video camera.
As you can see in the photo, really nothing survived. There were bits and fragments of things. And I said to him when he came back out, please go and check again. And he went back in, and he came back out, and he said, your Bible survived. And my Bible had been sitting next to my bed, and it's paper. And that was a huge moment in my story and in this brand, and in this brand changing and gaining a heartbeat that I think hadn't been there. And I'd been praying on it so much, saying my prayers were, God, please show me how to glorify your kingdom with the gifts that you've given me. And um, I'd been praying that prayer for a long time because I'd been feeling it in my spirit that I was pursuing very ego driven uh, career moves and wasn't giving back in a way that was purposeful. And then the fire happened, and the Bible survived. And I just remember thinking, okay, this is a sign. And so um, some people know this story, but some don't. My first show back at the listening room since that fire happened, I had a show with Shenandoah. And I remember being backstage and like praying to myself and saying, like, God, you've given me this opportunity to highlight you, and I don't know how to do it, and I want to be able to give you glory with, I've got this crowd here. And I always thought your gestures to God had to be huge in order for him to see it. And I just heard in my head before I went on stage, bless the room. And so, and I thought to myself, of course, that's like, that seems like the most obvious thing. You've got this room full of people that have come here to listen to music, and you created music, and they've come here to listen to stories. And like, of course. And so I walked onto the stage. Don't remember what I said because I think the Holy Spirit just completely took over me. And I blessed the room. And I cannot tell you how many people after that show came up and started telling me how much they needed that, what that meant to them. And it was really encouraging for me, because as w- I think, especially in 2026, it's very challenging to openly talk about your faith and your religion. And for many reasons, the political climate being one of them. It's like yeah, it's a challenging time. And I think you can all understand where I'm going with that.
To 100, I don't think I lose my enthusiasm.
The more things change, the more they stay the same around here. After 40 years of dirt, sticks, and leaves, I think it's safe to say the Mossy Oak family and brand are people that you can trust. So head to mossyoak.com and get your gear today. And then I became a mother, and that has been a huge change as well, and challenging, going from being, full time running around us doing these turkey tours and adventure tours in a camper, to then being pregnant, trying to climb into a tree, and then in a saddle. I remember like when I was first pregnant, I was like in a saddle and realizing like I can't be hanging from a tree anymore. Not only is it super uncomfortable, but I just literally can't climb into a tree anymore, and all of that. And then into just, you really like, as a mother, like your first child, you're like saying goodbye to a version of yourself forever. And in order to be a good mother, you have to truly sacrifice that single self of yourself. Yeah, you have to say goodbye. And so, but the best thing I have ever done is become a mom, and she just adds so much joy to my life and has changed how we are as a brand, has changed, I think, how I mentor our interns. It's changed the time that I spend in the woods. I think I'm more grateful for my time in the woods now, because it's time that I get to, like, when you're a parent, you're so busy if trying to chase around this little kid and make sure that you're doing a good job and all of that. And so you're not just whipping off to the woods whenever you want and just going hunting. And so for me, my time is more limited and spent more valuable. Um, but the coolest thing has been lately, about 4 months ago, she turned to her daddy, and so she's about to turn 3. She's 2 and 3/4 right now, but about 4 months ago or so, she turned to her dad and said, "When I'm bigger, I'm gonna learn how to fish. I'm gonna learn how to fish. I'm gonna catch a fish." And Zach said he felt so bad that she said that he came home and it was his, like, mission that week to go and take her to catch a fish. And so he took her to go and catch her first crappie, and I tell you what, that girl was hooked, and she's been catching fish literally, like, on the if not every second day, twice a week since then. So that has been a really great, evolution of this brand as well, and what I have just loved is being able to continue to tell all of these people's stories, whether or not I mean, in the last year, we've had Chipper Jones on, we've had Co Wetzel on, we've had Muscadine Bloodline, we've had AJ Buckley. We've had so many different people coming on, and it's just been the coolest thing ever, being able to share such a variety of personality stories. And for me, like, it always will come down to storytelling, because when we die, all you can leave behind is your stories. And having lost my dad, all I can cling on to is the memories and stories, and so that means even more to me now than what it used to. And that's will always be of true importance to me, and why I was really excited as well to partner with Field and Stream, because the storytelling is such an important part of all of that. I want to as well say thank you to all of the partners that have joined this. We've been so grateful to work with really good partners. And, like, from the beginning of this brand, Zach and I very much set in stone that we didn't want to flog brands that we didn't work with, like, that we didn't actually use, because you guys, the consumers, know that. And you have enough stuff thrown at you all the time where it's like, here's a discount code, buy this, here's a discount. I'm a consumer too, so I don't want that. I don't want to be giving and selling what I ain't buying. And so we've never done that. And we always had the kind of opinion of, we want to crawl, walk, run. Even if it takes us 5 years longer than somebody else that's doing the Insta famous thing and good for them and whatever, we want to crawl, walk, run, so that our community believes in us, grows with us, and sees that, like, we are here for the long run, and we are here because we care about you guys, we care about our family, we care about the storytelling, and we care about the brands that we work with. And so we've been just, like, really, like, honestly, all the brands that we work with have just been like a blessing to us, and super, super cool. And so we're excited to bring on some new ones this year that are friends of ours that we've been working with for a long time behind the scenes, and now bringing them on in official capacity, which is really cool too. If you hunt, you know how easy it is to lose track of where you are, especially around property lines. That's why here at Country Outdoors, we only use onX Hunt, the #1 hunting app. It shows public and private boundary lines, so you always know where you stand. We use it for scouting, marking spots, and even navigating. It just takes the guesswork out of everything. If you want to hunt smarter this season, go check out onX Hunt at onxmaps.com and know where you stand. And then I wanted to just kind of share with you guys, like, some of the lessons that I've learned over the years, and what I wouldn't do again, what I would do again. But I think, like, it's funny. I think I spent a lot of my late teen years and early 20s trying to, like, run away from myself. I've realized, like, on a personal level, if you don't deal with things, especially things from when you're a kid or when you're a teenager, they always come back and creep up when you're an adult. And so I've learned that you have to give yourself time to deal with things as just a person living in the world. Grief is a very real thing. We all go through it. And I've learned that to give myself some patience and grace, and it's okay sometimes to turn the phone off. I think it's actually super important. It's really important to one of the things that Zach and I really try to, and we don't get it right at all the time. But one of the things we really try to do is, like, not start our day by looking at the phone, and having a moment as a family, having a coffee on our porch. before the day starts and before it gets crazy. I've learned that I have to give it all to God because I can't do it without him. And I really can't. Like, I remember going through some really dark times, especially as a teenager, where I was not in my relationship with God and was really just like so far away from him. And it was the darkest times of my life. And so I have to give it to him. And I think that by giving him and saying to him, my prayer is like, how can I glorify you with what I've been given? And it's not this thing, it's like just honesty. And I really don't know where I'd be without that, because even if everything falls apart, if I've got that, I've got something. And that's really, really important. I've learned that it matters how you treat people. It really matters that you care about people. And when I have guests on, allowing them to talk about the things they want to talk about. That's a big thing that I've learned, actually. When I look at like my early career and conversations that I'd have, especially like in my early 20s. And so you guys know, and I'm going to reveal this, I'm 39 and I'm turning 40 in January, which is insane. And also liberating. It's scary and exciting at the same time. And I, for the longest time, have run away from my age and my reality, as a lot of us women do. We live in this world, especially if you're in entertainment, where you're just like, that's not my age. I'm blah, 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 because you think that you're not going to get roles, or you, whatever it is, there's just a lot of pressure on you. But actually, I love that I'm alive, and I want to celebrate that. I'm alive. I know people that aren't, but I get to be here, so I should be proud of that. I am proud of my mom that she has five kids and four of them are over 40 now. Congratulations, Mom. I am proud to be a mother myself and turning 40. I think we need to celebrate that more, celebrate being alive and not pound ourselves with guilt over aging. Like, yeah, you look good, whatever, but like, we're the lucky ones that we're alive. Except sometimes I think maybe the lucky ones really are in heaven because they're not dealing with the world today. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I've learned that. I have learned that it's so important what you say around your kids. It's so important to have patience and breathe. They see everything and they soak everything up. And I want to be such a good example for my little girl. And that means that I have to deal with the things that I've got to deal with and not pass those things down. And like, there's so much like talk now about like childhood trauma or like generational curses and all this stuff, which they never spoke about when I was growing up. And my parents certainly didn't have the luxury of knowing about that. And now we do. And so knowing that in order to stop the reoccurrence of, passing down of these things, like I think eating disorders or just whatever it is in your family, alcoholism and things like that, you need to be that yourself and you've got personal work to do. So that's something that I've learned. I have learned that still to this day, nobody owes you anything. No one owes you anything. Hello? Nobody owes you anything. You have to work for everything that you want in this life. It's crazy. I have met so many, and I don't want to be like, oh, those young kids today. But, and this isn't coming from someone who lives in like a super privileged position, like when Kim Kardashian said that. I'm saying this because I moved to the other side of the world with about $5,000 in my pocket and no visa and made a life for myself. I have worked hard. I'm not coming at this from somebody who was handed everything on a platter. My parents gave me a great education and a great home and all of these things, and they for sure did. But my move for my career, I did myself. And to this day, no one owes me anything. I owe myself to show up. I owe my family to show up, but nobody other than me owes me anything. And I think that that is how you have to be in this world. Otherwise, you're going to get very hurt. It is a tough world out there. And if you can't show up for yourself, don't expect anybody else to. So that's something that I've learned in my 39 years of life. I have learned that you have to respect your parents, and things that you do and say when you're younger will make you cringe when you're older. And your mom was probably right, and your dad was probably right. And when you have kids, you're going to learn that, and you're going to feel bad about it. And if you know, you know. I've learned that marriage is hard. You got to work at it. And I think we're surrounded by Disney movies that make and Instagram, that everybody just shows their highlights. I tell you, the biggest sign of somebody who's about to get divorced is when they post all their lovey-dovey pictures on social media. If they're posting and love bombing each other every day on social media, beware. Marriage is hard, and it's work. And we're coming up to 10 years, and it's work, especially when you work together and have a kid and a toddler. It is work. But nobody said that it wouldn't be, but they did say it would be worth it. And there's your little, put that on a bumper sticker.
Since 1973, the National Wild Turkey Federation has been working tirelessly to conserve the wild turkey and to preserve our hunting heritage. Today, the need for hunters to get involved is just as important as the wild turkey is facing declines, and the continuation of our outdoor pursuits are at risk in many parts of the country. Visit nwtf.org and join for just $35 to leave a lasting legacy that will help conserve wildlife and unite a nation through life-changing power of the outdoors.
I've learned that waking up earlier in the morning is better than sleeping in. And not just for hunting, but obviously for hunting. But for having that quiet time as a parent, I think that's super important, to wake up early, have that time with God, have that time by yourself before the world gets crazy. My dad used to do that. My dad used to be the first person up in the house, and him and I used to share a really special moment, because he'd be down there at like 6 a.m. every morning, and I'd get up at about 6:30, maybe 6:15, and I'd go and watch, maybe it was earlier than that, I'd go and watch the sunrise on the cliffs down at Bronte Beach, and I'd wake up, and to the day he died, my dad called me Bubba, which means baby, my baby in Australia. And I'd wake up, and I'd go out the back, and I'd give my dad a kiss, good morning, and he'd say, good morning, Bubba. And then I'd make myself a coffee, and I'd go down to the cliffs, and we always had that special little moment. So waking up early in the morning is important. There's so much. I am just really grateful for this community and for this show, and for the ability to be able to share who I am, connect with you all, and share these stories. So going into the 100th episode, I thank you all for being here, and I just want to say thanks. Stay with us. We're still growing. I hope that you're still here when it comes to the 200th episode. And I want to celebrate the 100th episode by doing a giveaway for one person. And we're going to be giving away a 1871 membership box from Field and Stream, a Bog Death Grip, a Country Outdoors hat and t-shirt, and an Onyx Elite membership for one of you. In order to go in the running to win, I want you to tag 2 friends and comment your favorite Country Outdoors episode so far, and one of you will go in the running to win that entire giveaway. So thank you guys so much. Stay tuned. We've got some banger episodes coming up soon. And God bless. Thank you guys so much.